Okay, happy 4th of July, everyone. I hope everybody's feeling very American out there. This is the Overdose talk show. We're watching this, I guess this is a woman?
I believe it's a woman.
We got a live stream here of a lady engaging in a bit of civil disobedience, I believe they call this. She's climbed up on Old Lady Liberty, up on she's at her feet.
The base, yeah.
Many wanted to.
Let's say hello to Matt Gear. What's up, dude?
Hey.
How you doing? And David Box is here.
Hello.
And Andrea.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone.
Thank you.
We're here to celebrate our freedoms and get American as fuck today. Let's handle our business.
We're gonna wrestle in a big thing of apple pie later.
This lady, I guess it's a lady. I'm having a hard time understanding.
She has short hair.
I guess is that all it is?
Well,
I'm like,
I don't know.
I'm like,
in my day,
like, is
ladies
she wearing
had
a ski
long
mask?
hair. No, she's just.
That's what I was about to say.
dark
It looks
skin.
almost like like she's got something covering her hair or her face.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, we're so far away in this shot.
so anyways, she's I guess protesting immigration, right? Or
Trump's immigration policy is
Trump's
what the pinned comment said.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she has climbed up there on the base of the Statue of Liberty, and they're acting like they're a billion feet in the air. They've got guys with harnesses going up there and shit. She's literally like 20 feet maybe above the where people normally would stand.
And she's just walking around like a person.
Yeah.
And these security, police, SWAT team, I don't know. They're
Task
rolling
force,
around, trying to crawl across the ground to get to her.
Yeah, I don't. This is awfully dramatic, and I bet she's gonna be in Dutch when she finally comes down. This looks like an expensive thing to do, to get all these people out there and close.
Well, and they evacuated the island, and they shut down all of the. They're not letting anybody else onto the island, so there are people just waiting.
Why do they have to evacuate the island?
Right.
Because
this isn't even a part that you can normally go to anyway. You can't go up in the Statue of Liberty anymore. She's in a place that the tourists wouldn't even be interfering with what's going on if they were there.
Yeah.
I think New York is just crazy with anything out of the ordinary like this. It's could be an act of terrorism.
Especially
Or maybe
on
she's
Freedom
got
Day.
a bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
This is an angle of the Statue of Liberty that I've never seen. I didn't know her there was a sole of her shoe.
She's
and
got
everything.
Right, yeah.
I'm just kind of impressed by the craftsmanship of the statue itself.
I kind of feel bad for her. She's been standing on one leg all this time.
right?
Yeah.
Holding that thing above her fucking head. It's insane.
I wonder if they're saying anything about this, but yeah, a little bit of civil disobedience. Oh, she's
starting to
she's
climb
finally
down.
climbing up the robe. Oh man.
Oh, she's
It
climbing
says
up
up
the
there-
folds of fabric.
It says this was after an Abolish ICE protest.
Yeah, this.
now she's doing something risky. Finally, she's starting to ascend Lady Liberty's.
Oh man, this is.
She needs a Batman grappling hook. That would be cool.
So there was a group earlier called Rise and Resist that did a banner drop here
Okay.
that said "Abolish ICE." Her front of her T-shirt that she's wearing says "Rise and Resist," and the back says "Trump care makes us sick." Is that right? We found a close-up
whatever.
of the photo. Whatever.
And she's
But
also
she
an
didn't seem-
asshole because she has a 1-foot sign that she brought up there that you can't see shit.
Don't know what it said. Yeah, she doesn't seem like maybe she was super prepared for this.
No.
She's deranged.
Could be a little unstable.
She might be deranged. Yeah.
She could be a little off. You never know.
Ah,
Yeah, there's nothing that's really gonna come of this. They're gonna do a little rescue, and then the ACLU will.
she's on Flocka. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. There was a few comments that said bath salts and shit like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I saw her do some weird kind of neurotic looking hand movements and stuff.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah, it could be either one. It's interesting she's all by herself and she wasn't able to find one other extremist person to do this with her.
It looks
Yeah.
fun. I would have done it with her just for the hell of it.
Right.
That's kind of what I was going to say. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, the live video has ended. I guess
they're probably about to take her down.
Shit, they cut it right
They're
when
going
they're
to
about.
tase her.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I've still got a live feed over here.
Yeah, that's the ABC live feed.
Yeah. And she's just
It's a more interesting angle.
maybe they're afraid she's going to fall now that she's actually trying to climb and they don't want to stream that.
Yeah, there's been a lot of protest lately about the immigration policies. And I don't know that anyone
Flavor
really.
of the week.
Yeah, most people I don't think really have any idea what they're talking about. Because like, it's kind of just something that's another one of those things that's sort of always going on, but it just depends on how the media covers it. When Obama was in office, there was a lot of deportations and weird shit going on, and they just didn't. He wasn't the anti-Mexican president, so they didn't use it as much.
Right.
So I guess now
No, Trump has been pretty clear on his racism. It's not
for
really
Mexicans.
I don't.
For a lot of people. I mean, come on, he's been pretty clear about it.
I don't
again.
think so.
Yeah.
I feel like it's pretty obvious. I don't know.
I feel like it's obviously not.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Well, I guess we agree to disagree.
He's definitely
I
more.
say he's a racist.
He's more nationalist, openly nationalist, than the past few presidents have been. But he's. I don't know that. See, first of all, I don't know that you can ever say somebody's racist against Mexicans, like I've pointed out
I didn't
a
say
million
against.
times.
I didn't say. I'm just saying pretty much against anybody who's not him.
That's just he's just a megalomaniac. Then.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not
All right, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Trumpy looks
That's
out
the guy
for
you
Trumpy.
want on your team, though.
Yeah.
Not my team.
Not my president. Whatever.
Yeah.
We've talked this to death. Who gives a
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah, honestly, I'm like.
So anyway, they're separating parents and children, which is what people seem the most upset about. That
Right.
children are being detained in separate centers than the adults that have been detained.
Yeah, and there is just a couple ways of looking at that too. Of like, what do you can't expect them to put them in adult detention centers, obviously.
Right.
But
I'd
why
rather
is
just
anyone, if they need to deport people? I just will never understand bureaucracy. But like, if it's this important, why are we not just driving around buses and fucking
Just
picking them up
dumping 'em
and
over
just
the border.
just taking them over there? Why does it have to be this big long fucking
Right.
red tape process?
Well,
and all
you
this
don't.
shit?
Are
Like,
you suggesting that we should abolish due process?
I suppose I am. I'm just sick of everything, dude. I'm just so sick of like,
Man.
yeah, like what first of all, the idea, okay.
Wouldn't it be weird if that was the better alternative to
What?
do away with due process?
I don't know. It almost seems tempting sometimes, doesn't it? But like, yeah, I guess you can't. But there's a few ways to look at it. If you really want to abolish ICE and you hate this whole process, I don't understand how you can support the existence of the federal government at all. If you really think this should go away, because if you're going to have some kind of federal government, you need to have some kind of parameters and who's involved and who pays into it and who doesn't and what's the benefit of being a part of the union and what isn't and blah, blah, blah. So if you just think there should be completely open borders, you can't really advocate that there should even be a country in a way,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
It's like national defense is really the number one reason why you have a federal government. And
Sure.
if you have an open borders policy, then it's kind of like, does it negate the whole thing, except for maybe social services? And
I think it might. Yeah, I mean, what do you think?
I don't know.
I think it's one of those, the more you start looking at the bigger picture and then the bigger picture and then the bigger picture, everything comes back to the fact that the federal government supports things that get in our way, and that's their
Yeah.
main function.
I mean,
so no matter which part, like ICE included, no matter which part of this, miles and miles of red tape and, oh shit, they're getting her.
yeah.
Oh, they're grabbing her.
They grabbed
really?
the lady, yeah.
Shit, I don't
You
have
saw where I
enough-
was going. The federal government is at the root of all the things that.
What'd they do? I
get in
can't
our
see
way.
it.
Yeah,
They're,
the lady who's climbing the Statue of Liberty, two guys just
They grabbed her.
grabbed her
They just
from
walked
under the
up
foot
and,
of Lady Liberty.
Yeah. We don't have a very close shot here.
I hope
with
she
their-
doesn't scare the cops and they're forced to shoot her in the back a few times.
Yeah, right. I don't know if these are real cops.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
No,
I don't know
they're,
why they
they're
wouldn't be,
probably
but-
firemen, I would think.
some
SWAT
kind
team?
of rescue
It
task
involves
force or
climbing.
whatever.
Yeah, task force. Yeah. All right, they're getting her. Well, that was fun. I hope it worked.
Yeah.
Whatever you were doing, lady.
Yeah.
Right. Somewhere now, Trump is
Did
watching
you
and he's
do it?
going, you know
Are you-
what? This lady has a point.
Are you,
Right,
are you happy with yourself, ma'am?
Yeah.
Is this what you hope to achieve? Do you know there's a guy like the chief of police like screaming in his office at somebody like, do you have any idea how much money this cost the city? And then the phone rings like, all right, get out of my office. Picks up the phone. They're always right on to the next thing, those guys,
Yeah.
The red bat phone.
Yeah, right. So anyways, yeah, with with the immigration stuff, yeah. What?
So people are like Bleeding Hearts, I think, are getting really worked up about it because at the center of things, it's devastating to imagine a young child being separated from their parents for any
Sure.
reason.
Yeah, and I think most people react the same. Well, no, I shouldn't
Absolutely.
say that, but I think most reasonable people are somewhere between, hey, this is a total overreach and an embarrassment, somewhere between there, and I really don't like it, but maybe it has to be done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think anybody reasonable wants to put a kid in a cage or a detention center.
But a lot of
or
those- but then you
anything.
I was
find
going
out-
to say, yeah, or a detention center to begin with.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Then you find out that a lot of those pictures that were coming out were from like 2014. And
Yeah.
it was
The
like,
cage ones were.
Yeah,
there
right.
They were from
you
a
know,
protest. It
the
was a
bigger
demonstration.
cage was a more recent one, and then I guess
Yeah.
tents were put up more recently.
well, and there was, there was the Walmart that they were housing them in and stuff.
Yeah.
Remember when Jade Helm happened? That's
Yeah.
when they started talking about that Walmart and saying they're turning it into a FEMA camp, and then they turn it into a fucking FEMA camp.
Kind of, yeah. Well, that's been a rumor for years, is that Walmarts are being sort of set up as, what will one day become detention centers. And we did see that. Like, that was one of those things people would laugh at you for, like, 8 years ago. You'd be like, hey, check this article out. This guy thinks that Walmarts are part of a network of potential detention centers. People, oh, shut up, you tinfoil hat, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Now it's exactly happening. Like,
Yeah.
now that it has the Trump brand, people are like, "Oh my God, everything's a detention center."
right?
Whatever happened with the FEMA coffins? Do you remember that?
Oh, that was just some
What was
bullshit,
that? Yeah, I
think.
remember. That's another one of those that like.
I don't
kinda-
think
Yeah.
those. I don't think those were coffins.
There's
Was that
always
a
a
real
million
thing?
of those
Well,
things.
and even if they were, so many people die.
That's what I
Someone
mean.
is
I just-
bound. Someone's
Right.
bound to have a stockpile of grave
Right.
liners somewhere.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of competition for that market?
Right.
But yeah, so now you're seeing like them actually, and because it starts with something that a lot of people can reconcile. Like, okay, we need a place to put these kids. You know what I mean? But what's next? Who's the next person to be housed there? Who's the next group of people to be shoved in there? And now it's
Yeah.
just sort of establishing
Yeah.
precedent. I don't know why it really makes it any worse that it's a Walmart, but
I know.
Somehow it does.
It's
I-
kinda
I agree.
weird,
It's
though,
just
yeah.
like,
Because of the
ugh.
Walmart brand.
Yeah.
People
Well-
people hate Walmart.
And there's
They're
something
very
too.
rich.
There's like a connotation with Walmart that they take advantage of a poor community
Right.
and make themselves the only game in town.
Right,
and
force
they-
out small business.
Right, exactly. So it's like they're already in my brain. Walmart is already bad for average people.
They
In the
never
long
should
run,
have
yeah.
allowed
Right.
this to happen because it's the leap that everyone was wanting to make about them, years ago. And now that it's actually happening, it's like, did you have no power to stop it? Why didn't you just dismantle the place or do anything else with it?
what are you talking about?
Like, why would Walmart allow one of their former places to become a detention center?
Yeah.
Yeah, why would one of the
When
richest
they're-
families in the whole country ever work with the American government?
Yeah.
That's never happened before. The guy that started Walmart seems like a pretty good guy. Like,
Yeah.
I read his biography.
And then his kid took over and
The
fucking
kids were the ones that just like grew up
Evil.
rich and soulless,
Yeah.
and they really just did not give a fuck. But the guy that started it, was his name Sam Walton, I think.
Sam. Yeah.
Yeah, he used to actually empower a lot of small communities. He would take a guy who was selling, 10 bags of grain or whatever the fuck back then, and turn it into 1,000, every month.
Right.
Or whatever. He was.
He was sourcing from local places
Yeah,
instead
and
of
he was spending a lot of time traveling and sourcing local products and helping people get off their feet, or get on their feet. I mean,
Get off.
and then get off their feet.
and then
you know?
that's the goal, isn't it?
USA.
From your lips to God's ears. But yeah, no, that's the old guy seemed pretty cool, whatever, and he spent a lot of time going around everywhere and kind of getting to know each community. Anyways, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Now they're a big pile of shit.
Yeah.
Bunch of
One giant pile of shit. It's frustrating though. I don't go to Walmart ever. And
Yeah.
I
Everything
went
is so cheap.
I
went a few
know.
months ago and it was incredibly. I didn't buy anything. I went with someone else and just like seeing what things cost is so
it's fucking
frustrating.
insane. But a lot
Yeah.
of that shit's garbage. Obviously, like
Yeah.
you see deals that, like, oh, I
Yeah,
can get
but you can get a set of bed sheets for $8.
There's that kinda
and they're
shit.
gonna last as
Yeah.
long as a $30
Yeah.
set.
And
is
you
gonna
could look
last,
at
you know?
that like, there's a lot of people that are way more poor than I am, and if they have access to the shit that they need because of Walmart, is that really a bad thing? You know, I'm
Right.
just saying it's not black or white. You know?
In the long, well,
It's.
I agree. No,
have you been to the one in Countryside?
No, but you know what I'm saying.
I've said the same thing about corporations
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah, I mean they're
Not-
offering
not
something that
any
people
corporations.
genuinely need
Well, I
to a
like,
certain
you know-
degree, and it comes at a cost, and it's up to people to vote with their dollars to sort of help them. People got to be the thermometer on that thing.
The argument, though, is against it is when they become predatory and they come into a market where they do
Yeah.
things at a certain price to drive out competition and then jack prices up.
Totally.
And then, you go to these places out in the middle of nowhere sometimes where all there is in the entire town is, a Perkins and a Walmart and an AutoZone or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you look around at all the abandoned buildings where there used to be, Joe's
Bakery.
Barbecue and fucking,
Yeah.
and a little hardware store and all this shit. And these places are just devastated sometimes. It's not just Walmart and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it's agriculture
Target.
and but they're again
Technology.
Target, yeah.
they're again giant corporations that work with the government. See, I'm so much less afraid of corporations than the government,
Yeah.
And if you took the government out of the picture, I think that a lot of these people like Monsanto would have a lot less teeth,
The government is the gun
But-
in the room.
Yeah, and you see, what Monsanto did with agriculture in the Midwest is fucking sickening. Some of these places where you go and like every person over 40 looks like a farmer kind of, and every person under 40 looks like they've been to prison, like those places, like you're just somewhere like Dwight, Illinois or
Yeah.
some shit, like, oh wow, this used to be thriving, this used to be cool. Now everybody works at one of those places, one of those three
Yeah.
corporations in town, and nobody owns their farm anymore, and nobody really has any pride. Everything's just fucked. There's just meth everywhere and people
Yeah.
wandering around not realizing they can leave, I guess,
Not knowing how.
Makes you envy the
specters.
Amish.
You have no skills. You grew up in a rural area. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, but I'd be interested to see how, especially these days, how, conscious we can be as consumers, what we could do without the government in the way,
It's true.
without the Monsanto to use the government to, they patent a fucking type of corn and then it blows over to somebody else's farm and they get the USDA inspector in there to say, hey, this is,
They
Yeah.
stole our corn.
they stole our corn and
Our
they
patented
end up
corn.
owning the entire fucking farm,
Did you ever play BioShock?
No.
No.
That's exactly
we're all-
what that game's about.
I think
Yeah.
we're all playing it whether we like it or not.
Yeah, there you go.
guys. Am I right, guys?
Am I right?
Yeah.
Food rights. Anyways, speaking of protests, me and Matt went out to the protest a couple blocks away from here
Yeah, it was great.
the other day. I guess it was a vague, again, anti-immigration policy, whatever, and
It happened. I think it's worth mentioning. It happened either the day of or the day after Trump signed an executive order fixing a lot of their issues.
It was a couple days after.
From what
yeah.
I've
Yeah.
heard, it,
Well, or addressing the issues
yeah,
they were
I'm like,
upset
it
about. I
hasn't
should say.
really fixed anything. It's different. It's not any better.
Yeah, but also people were mad that he chose to do it with an executive order.
Well, he said he couldn't originally, and then he did.
Well, how could
You
he
know,
not? You could
they
use the
said
He remember-
this
he just
guy's
said,
a
"I can't, I
dictator and he
can't,"
just
and-
wants to run the government with a phone call. And then this thing happened, and they were like, God, he could fix it with just a phone call.
Yeah.
And then he signs an executive order giving them exactly what they want. And they were like, well, he
no,
didn't need to do
he
it
did not
that
give,
way.
He did not give them exactly what they want. Is my point.
Well, no,
I'm not saying that that's the way you negotiate either. I'm just saying that from what I understand, and we'd have to look this up. Let's review the facts, and I can't give them to you. But I know that it's not like he just fixed it then.
Well, of course, because the problem might not be fixable. There's not a golden solution to anything.
No,
Right.
there never is to anything.
It's like, so
Right.
signing the executive order may have just been an optics thing. It looks like, all right, here's your magical
Okay,
piece
I
of paper
heard
you
you.
wanted me to sign, but did more buildings pop up out of nowhere?
I'm a
did the
bit
money
conf-
become
I have no
available
clue.
to suddenly just make utopia for everybody?
I'm a bit confused about when did the executive order become this big, broad, sweeping tool? It's been going on forever. The one I always think about is the Roosevelt one, where he recalled a bunch of gold coins.
Yeah.
33 or something. I mean, that's insane to do with an executive order, right?
Right.
Like a recall
Yeah.
of hard currency. That's fucking insane. And they've been doing this forever. Like, how do we pretend that we have this like representative government. I don't even understand. Why are we still pretending?
I think
The
pretend
fuck?
is important, like you said. It's pretend.
Well, speaking of pretending, so we go out to this protest in the middle of Downers Grove, Illinois. Here.
No, I mean, I
And-
was there legitimately. I mean,
Well, so
I just
was,
said, like I said, I was under no
legitimately there,
illusion
too.
that it's gonna like you said, it's really more just about unity and feeling better and showing that you're.
To me, it's more about like self-congratulatory kind of.
Yeah.
It can be.
To me-
Well,
jerk,
and if
you know.
people don't
Can
know
be.
the typical demographic in Downers Grove, we went to high school in Downers Grove, and our high school was over 96% white.
Right, and
So-
also, I mean, and it's a very privileged community, right? I mean,
it's
like-
incredibly wealthy.
and it kind of annoys me when you see this kind of stuff. And yeah, I am making assumptions about all these
But
people,
they're the people
but
who
these
have
are
the
the people I
voice.
grew up
I
around.
mean-
I know these people.
Yeah, there's
you
a
know,
difference
and
between making assumptions and like knowing.
I just picture them all going out here, and I'm gonna play what they did in a second, but. You know, they all go out here and have this like somber, like pat on the back and just kind of
Yeah.
meaningless gesture of whatever, and then they go home to their like. You should drive around this town and look at the fucking
Mansions.
it's palaces. I
It's
mean,
packed
and if
with
you look at
mansions,
it
yeah.
on a world standard, these are some of the very wealthiest people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fucking La Jolla and it's not fucking
Yeah.
whatever, you know, but it's up there, you know. I mean, this is a nice place.
It's a very, very
it's
wealthy area.
basically a movie set. It's it's fucking
Yeah.
immaculate, you know. I mean, so yeah, like. I just think it's funny. I don't know. I we should just get into it, right?
Well, real quick before you get into that, it looks like Abolish ICE lady on Lady Liberty
Oh,
is,
they took her.
is
Yeah,
coming down.
They're taking her down.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
So
lo- it appears to be mostly peaceful.
yeah, no one's getting hurt.
Well, that was
thank
fun.
God.
Yeah,
You
good
know?
for you. 4th of July.
Thank God no one was injured. Yeah. Thank God they evacuated the island. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
A lady's climbing up 20 feet and kind of sitting there. We need to evacuate the island.
It's a small
You know
island.
what? An evacuation may have been a play to just be like, how can we make this lady look as ridiculous as possible?
Right, yeah.
Oh man, it's such a big deal. We had to evacuate.
How do we make her appear dangerous?
I do
Yeah.
wonder what they're going to charge her with.
Yeah.
I think they're going to hit her pretty hard because
I'm sure they will.
They don't want this
This
going
is
on all the time.
Some
you know?
act of terrorism. It's federal property. It's trespassing.
It's probably
No,
it's probably going to
malicious
be some.
intent.
It's
yeah.
not really a big deal in my eyes, but it is an
No.
opportunity to set an example.
Make an example
That's
of her.
what
yeah.
I mean. I wouldn't give a shit. I'd let people do that all day. Fall
Yeah,
off, you
yeah.
fall off, retard. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, like
That's what I'm
fucking-
thinking.
Yeah, you want to climb around on a slick robe?
But we need law and order.
Yeah, that's your business.
Okay, so back-
So yeah,
Yeah.
so
Downers.
anyways, yeah, Matt wants to kind of get into the spirit of it more. I was sort of there, you know, not really in opposition to their cause
No,
or
no,
anything like
you were
that.
not.
But I was joking around a lot, and I don't
Well,
think I
there
don't think
was
people
the
like
amusing angle of it that you talked about.
Wait, Matt was at a he was at a booth like signing something, and I walked up and it said Socialist Workers Party, and that's their group. And I was like, I said to the lady, I was like, wasn't there like a big white supremacist group kind of with the same name? And Matt goes, no, Vin, you're thinking of the Nazis. And I was like, oh yeah. And this lady hated me, dude. She was like, your friend is trying to get informed. I was like, okay.
You know,
yeah.
I was
so
subscribing to
woke.
their newspaper.
Why do you have almost the same name as the Nazis, lady? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on with you?
How very informed
What was their name
of
again?
you.
Socialist Workers Party. You
Yes,
put
the-
national before that, and that's the Nazis.
Yeah.
I was
You know?
signing up for a subscription to the Militant.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
yeah. That's their publication.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, seemed like sort of a half-assed socialist operation. Some tired old hippies, you know,
Nice.
trying to do something. But okay, let's finally do this.
Okay.
So at one point, this lady, of African, she was a Nubian, princess, and she came out and she gave a speech that was, again, like all the, I don't know if you noticed this, Matt, but I thought about it later. All the minority speakers at this event were super pandering and patronizing to this, like, they know their audience, you know, and they're
I
like,
was gonna say I
Like
don't
George
I don't know if
Lopez?
those are the words I would use, but I mean it was.
no, they were like they knew that all the white people there wanted to be like, feel like they were connected to something
Yeah.
with them, and
Yeah.
so they were like really spoon feeding it, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
And
Back home, my mom would make tacos.
right, yeah.
No, it wasn't that bad, but like But look, I mean, they have to do that because we're trying to get unity. I get it, and I thought the speakers were good. I mean,
I don't know.
The one guy that
it wasn't
you
the
thought
worst.
was very funny. His English was bad, but
There was a guy.
Yeah,
there was
I'm
a guy speaking like very broken English. He was a Mexican guy, and like I don't know. It was just hilarious seeing someone give it a passionate speech so poorly. Like it was awesome. But all right, well, we got to get into this. So all of a sudden, this lady starts leading the crowd in the worst rendition of "We Shall Overcome" I've ever heard in my life. So I'm going to start it even like halfway through it. This thing went on forever, and they did it way too slow. Just listen to this for a second.
I'm so excited.
So as this is going on, I'm like walking up to the...
Oh my God, it's so slow.
yeah, it actually sounds
like
okay there,
half
but it does
speed.
get really bad.
Hold on, wait. Oh, yay, us.
We will walk in hands.
And you want to talk about,
We will
like, look at this crowd. Oh, why am I getting that echo?
You're everywhere.
Huh. Oh, I see. Sorry. Yeah, this crowd is like the definition of privilege. It really is, you know? And which is typically like a leftist thing to rail on about and stuff. And so I don't know. I just found some humor in like this particular crowd singing that particular song. You know, like this is not exactly fucking Selma, Alabama. You know, this is.
Yeah.
Love this, dude.
Yeah.
And
This-
as a bleeding heart lefty, I was also amused on the same
And
level
I think
as
these
you
people
were,
should
which
be
is-
able to laugh at
Yeah,
themselves.
that's what I was
Yeah.
saying. Like,
Like,
come on. Like,
It's kind of embarrassing to look
Yeah.
at
Don't you love it though?
the way this crowd is.
Oh, it's it's really funny.
And at this like slow speed.
Yeah.
We will walk
But this whole
What?
Listen to this. So you'll hear me comment on it in a minute, but
What the fuck?
it's so excruciatingly slow, right? And look at how even in this moment, these people just look bland and checked out. You know,
Yeah.
It's like
Most of
people
them
are
probably don't know these
people are
words.
checking their phones and shit. Like,
yeah.
One last one.
yeah,
One last one.
one more. That wasn't
more.
enough.
No.
Oh,
We
did you hear
we
that?
we had to fill
Hold
15
on, wait.
minutes.
Did you hear that? She fucked it up. Hold on. There, when
One
she starts,
last
here we
one.
go.
One
Ready?
last one. We are not
What? How's anyone supposed
be afraid.
Oh,
Oh,
We are
Done just for me, like as a present. This is fucking unbelievably awesome.
that was me commenting on the time. Oh, here we go. This is the best part.
oh man.
Come on, I could not have written that better.
Dude, I'm being such a dick at this point. Like, I'm like the only one standing up near the stage, just laughing and filming this and like commenting and shit. Because, okay, you know, and I was being a
Yeah,
dick.
that's enough.
But I knew that I needed to because, you know, I don't know, the comedy was so ripe with it. And I was like, I got to bite the bullet on this and just
Yeah.
behave like a complete dick right now. Like, I'll be so mad at myself if I don't. You
It
know?
was like holding a mirror up to these people. Like, oh God,
sorta, and
this guy's laughing at us.
right, yeah, like people like this too can't even fathom that somebody would find them to be hilarious. You know,
well,
like, which you'll
they
find
are
out soon.
in the zone right
We
now.
are doing important political action.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
We are filled with action.
And okay, and
And
I
what
get,
do you do?
I get Matt's point that like, okay, people are just trying to show their concern. They might not be the most sophisticated, or they might not be the most
Yeah.
passionate, or whatever.
Right.
Fine, it's still hilarious.
It beats them
you know?
sitting at home. But no, I
Yeah.
also agree though that man, you do have to be able to laugh at yourself. And like I said,
Yeah.
even as someone who agrees with the protest and everything, this was a really pathetic rendition of that, and the crowd, the whole angle, like you said, the irony attorney's not lost on me. I mean,
Sure.
Well, and also, so this was like a nationwide thing. All big cities had their little march and protest for this issue on that day. So why didn't these people just go to Chicago and add their voices to the crowd that
it
was going
was
to
like
get counted?
103 degrees.
It was hot as fuck.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
too hot to do politics.
Right.
It almost was.
Yeah, that's actually not even
Like,
a.
it really almost was.
It really almost was. Yeah, if like we had to fight a war that day, I'd be like,
Yeah.
dude, can we just do this tomorrow? Yeah, like
I mean, the cops even were they were
Yeah.
like not they were not too concerned with anything that you were doing. They were just like, dude, it was hot. I had to get out of my car.
well,
Well,
we haven't even gotten to what happened yet.
But
So-
regardless, I mean, this
ahead,
thing
you
was
can-
obviously organized and put together well before they knew it was going to be 103 degrees. Why wouldn't they
Yeah.
just get these people together and get a couple of buses and shuttle them out to the big thing? You know what I mean?
Why
If
not
that's-
just get some party buses and just
If what you
fucking
want
get
to
drunk
do is,
and
if what you're trying to do is say, hey, here's all of these people who care about this subject, it would make sense to make the largest, most concentrated crowd in one
'Cause
location.
people needed a way to care without doing any actual
Right,
work or spending any
right.
real time.
I was gonna say,
Andrea.
why don't we just form a militia and like, yeah.
I'm fine
Yeah.
with that.
See, now
I
you're
just,
more
like,
on our track.
Well,
yeah.
no, but I mean, I'm still glad that they're doing that though. Frankly.
even this, but
Me too.
Even
I
if
had
it's
a great,
purely
I had a great time.
symbolic. Well, okay, but even if it's purely symbolic, like it is doing something. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know.
yeah, I'm not saying they're doing nothing, but like what
I'd rather they
every
did that.
answer for what's the point of this has a better path to have gotten there.
It's awareness.
All right, well, let's keep moving here. I want to just play this. These were my comments walking away. This is, and we won't go through the entire thing, but what ends up happening is a guy gets really mad at me for what I'm about to say. But this is
If
me.
I were to take weeks, no, months, and try to think of the best gift that I could ever receive, it would be every member of one of the richest towns in the entire country singing "We Shall Overcome" is the most hilarious thing I've ever fucking seen, dude. I can't even get over it. I feel like this was done just for me. Like, just for my entertainment. It could not have been better. This is one of the greatest things. Excuse me?
Yeah, and then you'll see this guy. I'm just gonna play the
What are you
very
talking about?
beginning of this guy, and then we'll fast forward to what ends up happening. Because this is the guy that I end up slapping harder than I've ever slapped anything.
Is that what you're trying to do?
Actually,
I'm not afraid of Nazis. Come and shoot me and see what happens.
Oh,
Okay.
What the fuck? How did he get there?
I don't know. Listen, we're gonna cut it there because this guy just rambles, and you guys can go check. It's Wealthy Town Sings "We Shall Overcome" plus Insane Leftist Protester. That's on our channel, so you can go check out the whole video if you want. I'd started at about 8 minutes or something like that. But
This
go
guy
ahead.
engaged you?
Yeah, he came.
heard you on your phone
Yeah,
and he
beca-
called you over?
Yeah, well, no,
Okay.
he didn't call me over. He wanted to talk some shit, and I turned around and went back, and I was like, "Excuse me, are you talking to me?" And he was like, "You Nazi man!" Like, oh Jesus! And
Oh,
as soon as
man.
you guys, when you see this video out there, you have to know that as soon as I saw this guy, I was like, "Oh, I know this. I'm in YouTube right now. Like, I know exactly what to do. Just keep filming this guy because he's going to be a never-ending treasure trove." And I was right.
Yeah.
I've got like an hour of this guy talking on my phone. Like,
Amazing.
And his thing was too that it seemed to me that like his heart's in the right place, but he just fell into like a tunnel of like projecting stuff onto you.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
At
and-
one point in the conversation, you guys even say, "We agree with you. We don't
Yeah, I was
understand
like-
why you're doing this."
I was like, dude, have you, like, and I was asking them, there's all these people, again, in that video, if you guys want to check it out, there's like a point where I get surrounded by people, and one lady's like, "You're a fascist," or whatever. I'm like, dude, did you guys even, any of you, I'm asking them over and over, will you just ask me what I think? Somebody ask me what I actually think.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody, because I'm not exactly the most rah-rah fucking secure the borders guy ever. I understand why people want to do it, but,
Dude.
you know, that's not really my bag,
These
as
people
they
were
say.
these people were waiting for someone like you until
Yes.
they probably found out how much
well,
you actually
someone,
knew.
yeah, I was gonna say
But
someone that they
They're
think
waiting for a
Vinnie is.
Nazi
I
in a
don't-
Mr. Show T-shirt
You
to show up.
Yeah, I was like, I
stoned
don't
at
think
the
Vinny
park.
represents what they thought he
Yeah.
represented, but they
Not at
wanted
all,
they
yeah.
wanted
For
you
a
so
few
bad
moments.
to be that.
They want- yeah,
For a
right.
few moments, you were their gift from God. They're
Exactly.
like, oh, finally, someone to fucking hate so hard.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm on YouTube right now.
Oh
That's
my
what they
God,
thought.
we're being counter-protest. We've really made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, and people see this stuff
See,
online.
we are doing a good thing. Look.
the same way I'm kind of thinking of it as it's happening, I'm like, oh, I'm in the internet. This is awesome.
Right.
You know, like you don't even think of it as real life anymore. I'm like,
feel
oh, I know
like
what to
it
do. I've seen these. Like,
might be
you
worth
know.
mentioning that you were with Matt Gear, who was holding a giant rainbow umbrella
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
his head while
Yes,
this was
I was.
happening.
Yeah.
Which, if that isn't just a beacon of tolerance, I don't know what is.
Yeah, no.
You mean me or the umbrella?
The combination.
Yeah.
And I noticed
Yes,
nobody
thank
called you a Nazi, although you look
look
like
more
a
like a
Nazi
Nazi
than
than
you
Well,
Vinnie,
I'm
that was
actually
for sure.
related to real Nazis.
You look
Yeah,
like
I'm
you-
German. My Uncle Fritz was
Well,
a
we
brown shirt.
we all
You
have
should
to
have
explicitly
pulled that
denounce you
out.
right now.
Yeah.
Well, that like I'm always like that doesn't reflect me, but it's just you know.
Will you
No, it
denounce your
does.
uncle's actions?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right, there
wanted
we
to make
there-
sure.
All right,
It's
cool.
complicated, Vinny.
So, anyways, I'm just gonna fast forward to the end of this encounter. There ends up being a fight, but this is sort of the lead up to it, and there are some. I think I had some funny remarks in here. I would say, all right. Should we just listen?
Let's have
Why?
him.
That's the
And
thing
so
you're not
does he.
getting.
So that's
Yeah,
why I'm like, so just calm
All right.
down.
Why is this camera pointing?
You
in
can
my
hear me.
face?
Just
Because
calm
you
down.
know,
Together.
you want to
Because
talk
you're
about
hilarious.
people.
That's why.
I'm hilarious.
You are, dude.
I'm hilarious.
Yes.
That I'm angry.
That's what I've been trying to tell you this whole
about
time.
a
What a
travesty
crybaby
of the
from
entire
him.
history of
I
the
called it like an hour before this. I was like, dude, you're just a fucking bully. You just like to fucking yell at people and push people around. Like, I'm trying to talk to you and tell you how funny you are. Like, will you relax? That doesn't help people calm down.
No, not ever.
I was also needling this prick, you know. But hold on. So here's where it gets awesome.
the fucking human race.
A travesty
What's
of the
going on
entire
in
history.
Washington is a travesty of the entire human race. And somebody who wants to fucking joke around about it and say, you know what?
This has been worse than it was.
You know what? Get out of my face with your piece of shit before I throw it somewhere.
Do it.
Don't make
So at that point, I just shove the camera in his face and say, "Do
Do
it."
it.
And
Yeah, he's the one that elevated this to a level that it
yeah,
went
dude.
to. Like-
You're rambling at a protest. People are gonna film you.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'm
and
sorry.
Then, and then he made threats. You didn't. You were totally calm this whole
I
time.
was
I
trying
want
to-
to point out that
I
Vinny
was just having
kept
a
his
good time,
composure.
dude. Yeah.
You weren't antagonistic, like not like he is
until right now.
Yeah,
though.
but I could tell that he flipped a switch on you right there when he threatened you. As
Yeah, that was it.
I'm one of those. I'm one of those people that like. I react
and
like an
I
animal
really
to
tried
that kind
to
of
calm
thing.
you
Yeah.
guys down because I don't want anybody getting arrested.
I know. I loved listening to you in this video.
But let's
All right,
hear-
Come on, guys.
Let's hear what I had to say to that threat. Here we go.
Go ahead.
Don't do anything stupid.
You know what'll
Both of
happen to you, you fucking faggot? You know
Don't
what'll
do
happen to you?
anything, both of you. Okay, just calm down.
You have no idea.
Calm down.
You want to make threats, dude?
Don't.
How about I
nobody's-
put my cigarette out in your fucking
Nobody's
stupid little
threatening
wispy
anybody.
beard?
Calm down. Calm down. We're all on the same side here, and this is.
How about I
very
pull your
silly.
little plaid shorts down and
Please
fuck you
stop.
right on the sidewalk?
Stop.
How about that?
Did you hear when you said
Oh,
that?
you a big man? You
Why?
gonna throw my shit? You gonna-
Why did I say that?
I don't know. You
was
said
a-
that before you revealed in the video what his stupid fucking bike looks like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh god, that was my favorite part when he rides away on this thing.
Yeah,
But-
it's like one of those recliner tricycles.
I just went completely prison on this guy. Like,
Yeah.
it was really.
Perfect.
I was just like trying to demonstrate, like, dude, you are a little bitch to me. Fuck you. Do you try to
Well, and
bully
you
me? Like, dude.
finally started to match his intensity too.
And look what happens. He runs away
Right.
immediately, you know. But then he comes back. I guess that was pretty much the meat of it. Ends up he comes back around,
Just
circles
play
back
it.
around. Should
Yeah,
I play
why?
it? Okay,
Why
fuck
does
it.
he
Take it
do
from me. Take it. Take it. Or you're gonna bike away. Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen, isn't it?
Stop it. Come on.
Yeah, that's
don't
probably
be
what's
like
gonna
that.
happen.
Don't be like that.
Pussy boy's gonna bike away after he makes a threat. Yeah, make your threats.
Could you stop using that kind of language?
Yes, I'm sorry.
I did feel bad. I looked over. There's like a bunch of nice, normal people
that's what I
standing
mean.
there. I'm telling this guy I'm gonna fucking rape him on a sidewalk.
But you kept your composure. Is my point. You weren't
Yeah.
like "fuck you, lady." Like I'm in a rage now. Like this
Yes,
guy.
I'm sorry.
Right,
You were like, "Oh
yeah.
yeah, totally." Like
Yeah,
and then you did.
Oh my god.
I realized where I was. I was like, oh my god. I mean, I forgot. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
This isn't just the internet.
right. Yeah. But I feel like there's not enough of these videos when people are acting like assholes like this. Usually, you see like guys being like, "Oh well, sir, that would be assault if you did that. Ooh, I'll get a police officer." Ooh.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
dude, more people need to talk to a piece of shit like they're a fucking piece of shit.
Wait,
you know?
also,
Like,
have we mentioned there were a bunch of police around while this was all happening?
yeah, there's police watching this whole thing. So it ends up he's riding back around, and there's Matt with his rainbow umbrella.
Try something. You were sticking
So
3
do it.
inches from my face.
Do it.
Stick it into my face again, bitch.
So that's the end of it. You just see him grab my phone, and he ends up throwing it. So then,
Wait. You know, I also want to say, right there when he grabbed your phone, you were
Yeah.
still cool, and you were like, okay, that was fast.
yeah, I was
Can I
like,
have my phone back now?
I was like,
and
I'll
he
give it to you.
fucking made the mistake of throwing your phone, which
Right.
was uncalled for.
Oh, he didn't grab it and throw it immediately?
No.
No, it took a few
Oh.
seconds. I was like, all right, dude, that was actually pretty quick, but give it back or I'm going to fuck you up. Like,
And
then
then he threw it.
throws it, so I just started swinging.
As you should.
And I hit him a couple times in the head or whatever.
You laid
And
a
then-
really solid punch to his face. That
Yeah.
made a nice cracking sound.
Yeah, it was sweet. I woke him up, and then
Word to
and then I think actually the cops might not have even like fucked with me if I left it at that. But then I like kind of stopped for a second, and he like lifted his face up. He had been covering up, and he lifted his face up, and I just fucking Russian mobster slapped him like full just palm to jaw, just fucking smack so solid his glasses went flying off and shit. And he just looked at me like in complete stunt. He was like, he couldn't believe somebody wasn't putting up with him. Like he's
Dude,
just
there
used.
is no better way to tell someone you're a bitch than by slapping
slapping him.
You could have easily just punched him again, but
Just
you went for the slap
One
instead.
man to another. I just
Just right
slapped
to your ego.
the shit out of you, dude.
Yeah.
And that's what I,
Because I didn't want to break you.
that's what I said. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said as I started like. I slapped the shit out of him, and he started getting up, and I was like, dude, you better just leave it at that. Like that's you got off easy. Like I'll leave it now. I
Yeah.
just slapped the shit out of you. You're put in your place. Like just leave it. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go get the police. He says, I'm like, go ahead, dude. I don't think you're gonna be very happy with the outcome of that.
Right,
You're not
yeah.
really.
He took one step towards the police, and then he stopped. He was like, oh, wait,
like,
I threw
oh,
that
yeah.
dude's phone.
Right, he realized, like-
Yeah.
I'd get arrested, too, and he stopped dead.
So then it was like all of a sudden the 1950s again, and the cops came up and basically had us shake hands and leave.
No, they were really cool. They
Yeah.
were all
Come
right.
on, you little cranky pants.
Yeah.
It was hot. They had been watching the cops like, dude, I've been watching you guys like bicker for like 20 minutes. I
Yeah.
knew this was gonna happen. Like you guys, how about you shake hands and apologize to each other and go on your way? And
I
was
think
like,
if they had just gone like boop, boop, with their thing, you guys would have stopped.
probably I would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would have.
That's
dude.
what I mean. Just
Paranoid
make-
as I am.
If they'd hit their
Like,
siren a little bit, just been like, "Hey, we're fucking watching you." That
Right.
would've, you guys would have been
Yeah.
like, "All right, motherfucker, I'll see you."
You were the
later."
only thing that happened that day, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they pointed that out. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, fucking 500 people here, and you got to be the one. Like,
Yeah.
all right.
A whole protest of
stop.
babies, and
But
you
to
were
their
the
credit,
biggest
yeah.
babies.
They were very nice. They didn't elevate the situation to anything it didn't need to be.
No, they were calm when they
Yeah.
came up. They didn't search me. They didn't search that guy. They didn't really fucking make a big deal out of it. They were just like, yeah, like you guys are fucking both behaving like complete buffoons. Like, just get out of here. Like,
Go drink some water.
yo, Drew, that's what we did. We went to the store and bought water.
But it was nice. It actually ended really nicely, I thought.
Yeah, I gave him a little hug. I was like, all right, man, no
And he-
hard
and he
feelings.
said- and he
Little
said-
smack on the
No.
behind.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the guy said, he's like, I'm embarrassed. They're here for the same reason as me. Like, I
was
don't know what I was
think,
thinking.
I think me and him were actually. I know he is a total psycho, obviously,
Yeah.
but we were both like kind of embarrassed and just wanting to get out of there.
It was
Just like,
103 degrees.
Yeah.
Look
you
at
were the
he's got
gifts
like
to each other.
psycho
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage face in this still right now.
So
Yeah.
that's just called Insane Leftist Protester Part 2. If you guys want to go view that, because we're just doing audio for this show. But yeah, man, fucking wild day. And when the cops came up, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be a long afternoon. Like, I thought I was gonna have to get bailed out and everything, and fucking have court dates with this guy. And blah blah blah. And this guy shows up for court dates too.
Right,
Of course.
yeah.
Just look at him. He's got nothing else going on.
Because he
Right.
clearly is
He's got a lawyer.
unemployed.
He's got a lawyer.
He has
I bet.
nothing else to do.
The justice system will prevail.
And how old do you think that guy is? About 45, 50 something?
50
Yeah,
something.
50 something.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
seeing.
I thought he was a little younger at the time. I was pretty stoned and drunk though, and I wasn't really. I
Once
don't know.
again,
my glasses
I'm
were foggy.
40,
Like,
and he looked more than a decade older than me.
okay, yeah, he's way too old to be behaving this way, and so am I.
Right, yeah, I was going to say.
I wish I could get to the point. I was talking about this to Darcy last night. Like, I wish I could get to the point where like I didn't. I don't feel like I was not justified, and I do think it's funny everything, and especially since I got away with it. I'm not like regretting it, but I do wish I could be more the person that when he first made the threat, I would have just left, or something. I can never just fucking.
No,
you-
because people like him need people like you. I would have just left, and then he would have done that again and again until he ran into a you. you play an important part in the ecosystem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. You think that he'll think twice before like trying to bully people now? Like
Probably.
Yes.
You I believe you said you bitch slapped him into the next dimension.
that was one way I described it.
Yeah.
You just have no idea how fucking solid it was. It was so great, and I wish it was on film more than anything in the world. But
No, I think you've made a lot of progress, honestly, against fighting against that rage that you were talking about in shows in 2015 that you have.
oh, was I talking
You
about
did
that?
a whole show
Oh.
about how you just get
It's a high
on rage.
Yeah,
And I'm like, no, I think you've matured a lot, man.
I think
Yeah.
so.
You were calm and everything. And like I said, I would have punched that guy if he took my fucking phone.
Right, you got to do something. Or
Yeah.
you know what? Because if you go home, this is why I did it. Because I've probably had times in my life where I didn't do, where I like let somebody bully me, and you never fucking, the feeling never goes away. You know, like,
you get home and you're like,
and you just fucking seethe for days.
Why
you
didn't
know,
I say
like
this?
having fucking fantasies about what you should have done. You
Yeah.
know, I'll never have to do that about this situation.
Yeah.
But I also don't enjoy court.
No, I know.
So, you got it's a choose your battles.
I used to enjoy court when my friend Alex would go. Not the Alex from the show, but this other friend Alex used to just go to jail all the time when we were in our young early 20s, and he just didn't give a shit. Like he'd just go do 2 weeks. Fuck it, I don't care. And we would always go to court, me and my other friend, to watch him. Because he would always put on some kind of show because he knew he was getting locked up and he didn't care. And he would just like, one time he called the judge a butthead. It was like goofy stuff, you know? It's like, one time he's sitting in the front row and we're watching from like a few rows back. And he looks back at us and smiles and then just farts really loud, like while it's fucking dead silent in the court. And the bailiff is like glaring at him. Like the bailiff's like been on to him the whole time, you know? The bailiff's just going like, you motherfucker. He's like, if you do that again, you're going to be in contempt. And the judge said something or whatever. And so a few minutes go by.
Wait. How could they prove that that's like...
Because I think when you like turn around and like wink at your friends and then lift one cheek up.
Yeah,
and,
but
you
I'm
know,
like,
The
well, what-
stenographer jotted all that
Right,
down.
what is he supposed to do? It's like if you're...
it just says like PBBBTTT.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
But I'd just be like, I have Crohn's, or like I ate something bad. Like I can't help it. What do you want me to do?
well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, what it culminated in is a few minutes later, he turns around again and looks at us and smiles, and we're like, well, we'll see you in a few weeks, Paz. And he fucking, sure enough, he fucking farts really loud again, and they're like, all right, let's take him away. That's it. But yeah, he was always, his court appearances were like an event for us. We would just go watch him get locked up, and he would be like taken away in handcuffs, like laughing and like smiling at us, like. And then he would always have some crazy shit going on where he'd be able to like leave to go to work. You can leave jail to go to work.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and so they would let him out for the day to go to work. He would just say that he was going to work, and we would just go get fucked up all day, and then he'd go back to jail and pass out. It was like,
They test you when you go back after that.
do they?
Yeah, I used to work with a guy who would get a 48-hour pass to work over the weekends.
He would get drunk though. I don't know how maybe he wasn't pulling it off. Maybe he was
Yeah.
getting in more trouble. I don't know. Like, but yeah, and it was just total mayhem with that guy.
What if
Anyways,
your job
Yeah, now
is to...
he's like an uptight bitch, though.
Yeah, he's like a real
Who?
estate guy or something. The guy I was talking about that used to be hilarious. Yeah, he's really changed. He's gone corporate, you know.
What if you're a professional wine taster, though? I'd be like, well, I had to drink. I mean,
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
that's my job. Like,
What if you make heroin for
right?
a living?
Yeah, right.
You know. All right. Happy 4th of July out there. I guess we'll be back in a minute here on the Overdose Talk Show. Sorry we've been gone so long, everybody. Whatever. I'd like to say that it won't happen again, but you know how that is.
We know better.
Yeah. And we're back on the Overdose Talk Show. You guys have a nice break?
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Everybody
It
had
was
a
very
snack.
refreshing, yeah.
Matt, what were you eating?
That is a bean salad that I make with apple cider vinegar.
It looked pretty good.
Sounds good.
It is actually.
You're vegan, right?
No, I'm not technically like a strict vegan.
Right.
I've actually started eating eggs again because I read that eggs are, like a superfood, and I've been feeling really tired the last year. And I'm like, I'm not old. Why am I so fucking tired all the time? And I think maybe I'm just not getting enough protein. And
Yeah.
So I've been
Yeah.
eating an egg every week. So no, I'm not a vegan technically. I'm breaking the cardinal rule. Basically.
All right, I didn't ask for your fucking life story. Jesus Christ. Let's get into a couple other things. We haven't done any news in so long.
There's so much news.
There's been so much stuff that's happened. One thing that I think is probably the most pressing issue facing us as
the
journalists
most important thing
right now. What does this say? Watch: Indian man worships Donald Trump as God. So he's in India, yeah?
Yeah.
This is according to the Hindustan Times. I don't know why that's funny to me. United States President Donald Trump is a divisive figure, to say the least, but an Indian man has gone a step further by actually worshiping the former reality TV star, according to the Hindustan Times. Well, how would you even say this guy's name? You guys are...
Busa Krishna.
Yeah. is a farmer from the remote
Konne.
village in...
Telangana Janagan.
district. Fucking idiots we are. We'll never grow out of this. Like, it's like 8-year-olds just doing Indian accents. So what? Basically, this guy thinks that Trump is one of many gods, right?
Right, yeah. They don't stick to one.
No.
They think that many gods have many things to offer.
That's the problem with them. No scruples.
No scruples.
You know? Yeah.
Pick a side.
They're all over the place.
Well, he's picked his side pretty thoroughly. I saw he carries around like a framed 8x10 of Donald Trump.
But
with
it's
like
young Trump. That's what I was about to say. Notice
Where is it?
it's
Sorry.
young
There it is.
Trump. It's not
Yeah.
modern, is it? That
Yeah, it
looks-
is.
that's
No, he's
modern.
now Trump. Look, you can see the White House behind him.
Oh,
It's-
you're right. You're right.
Rumble face.
Okay, wait. I don't
but
have my
he
glasses
also
on.
I'd
you
recognize that
can't
house
see in the
anywhere.
picture we're looking at right now, but the photo has like an herb blessing on his forehead.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like this guy has blessed him with like their sacred like turmeric and whatever. There's a list up
What's
here on
that
this
stuff all
article,
over the
but
floor in that other picture? Is that cigarettes?
offerings.
Do we want to
Looks
see
like
this?
cigarettes.
Do we want to check out this video and see what?
Of course
See what
we
they
do.
say about this guy. Hold
Do
on.
I?
Oops. There we go.
There he is.
I guess there's really nothing to listen to in this video. It's just, oh, he's got some
Yeah.
birds or whatever. I don't know.
He's got like a bowl of herbs that he's rubbing on the photo.
I thought there'd be like a nice, like, this man
Right.
in a
yeah.
lonely Indian village worships, whatever.
Yeah. No, it looks like he's doing kind of a rosary style thing.
Yeah, he's praying.
Praying.
None of the
Ooh,
usual
look at his
talking
lights
points.
around it.
It's got twinkle lights on the shine or on the shrine.
What an ass.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
They probably think they don't need to say anything.
This is
They're
why
just
I
like,
hate
will you
religions.
just look at it?
Yeah, just look at
just
it.
really- just look
Look, he's got a room full of women taking these Trump blessings.
Would you look at it?
Weird. I read a
Why-
thing that said that his parents had distanced themselves from this man because they are so embarrassed by his Trump worshiping behavior.
Does it say why he worships Trump? What's the...
The idea.
Scroll back up. There's something.
Well, it says the
Oh,
idea struck him after.
I don't think that's an Indian name.
Okay. So you can't.
Servinas Kuchabalota. Kuchabolta.
A software engineer from the state was killed by a U.S. Navy veteran in an alleged act of hate crime in February last year. What does that have to do with it?
I know that doesn't make any sense.
I was very much pained at the incident. I thought the only way the U.S. president and his people could understand the greatness of Indians is to display our love and affection towards them. This is why I started worshiping Trump with the hope that the prayers would reach him one day.
Oh, so he's
Oh.
like, Trump is attacking my people, and I will defeat him
Why
with
doesn't this?
overwhelming love.
Why doesn't he just get Twitter? That would be.
Yeah,
It
there you
seems like a
go.
way more direct route. You know.
See, that is like that points out the cultural differences that we have, because I was like immediately thinking like, oh, he must like him a lot, and I get it now.
You don't pray to Putin and
Right? Yeah, I'm like, okay,
Kim
that's
Jong.
I do.
we don't
Yeah.
do that in the West, you know? Like,
Maybe you don't.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Did you guys ever look at Trump's Twitter?
I try
Does
not
anybody-
to.
Oh, God,
Dave
yeah.
gets them sent to his phone. It
Yeah.
goes off like 20 times a day. It's always Donald
I
Trump.
subscribed
He-
to him on Twitter.
He tweets incessantly. He has something to say all day long, and none of it is ever anything.
Well, he's prolific. I think
He
is the
wrote-
word.
He wrote a tweet the other day that Dave showed me where he was talking about how he doesn't really care about the rules of grammar, and he capitalizes words that don't need to be capitalized for emphasis.
He does it. Yeah, he said he does it for emphasis, not because they should be capitalized.
Yeah,
He
see,
goes,
like,
all right,
what is with that thing too?
Mr. President.
Yeah, a lot of old people are just constantly like internet yelling in caps lock. You know,
Yeah.
they just don't understand how obnoxious that looks for some reason.
Well, because they're afraid you won't hear them.
Right? Yeah. Listen up.
You know, the internet is a series of tubes. I need to write it all in.
Yeah, how is it going to get all the way to India?
Right.
If I don't put it in caps.
That's the internet in India. It's like with the old things at the bank teller, you know, when you would drive through and put that tube in, suck it up. Like, Mom, can we get a sucker?
Weren't we supposed to be getting around like in those now that it's the future?
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
did my computers go
They're
off?
way
Or did it
overdue.
just go to sleep?
Yeah, like
What, tube?
yeah, weren't we supposed to be able to get into like suction tubes now? Isn't that what like all the 60s movies were? You like get into the tube?
I think that Elon Musk and his boring company are working on something
That's what they're
similar.
working on. Yeah.
Oh god.
You know what? My computer just turned off, so we're gonna have to
Great.
stall here. Why don't we go to a couple of our correspondents who haven't been on the show for a long time? Maybe they can give us some better insight into why Indians would want to
Oh no.
would want to worship Donald Trump.
My husband has been very Americanized. He loves Donald Trump. Genuinely, not out of hate.
Well, what's your husband's name again?
Pranjit Sendil Ramamurti Mohinder
I am very uncomfortable doing this bit.
on Jogging Along.
See, I figured since we didn't have the video, maybe we could swap Andrea and David Box in for this nice Indian couple that we used to have come by the studio so often.
For
Oh.
some reason, doing this bit increases my heart rate and makes my palms sweaty.
I like how you guys both have to do the head wobble too, or else you
It
can't
is
do the
part
voice.
of our culture. Do not talk about my head wobble. I do not talk about your hand gestures.
What hand gestures?
All of you, Americans only speak with their hands. Why don't you just use your words?
Well, maybe if
Or
more,
your heads.
maybe
or
if,
your heads.
if more people here spoke English, we wouldn't have to use sign language all the goddamn time.
Do you do sign language in a language that's not English?
How's this for sign language, motherfucker?
Oh, he flipped me the old bird. I didn't know you guys knew about that.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's pretty.
We
have
are
studied
very
American
America.
culture.
Yeah.
We are
Oh,
very America.
that
we
means
are
they
USA.
love you.
We
Yeah,
are freedom eagle.
what,
We keep it real.
what do you guys think of Donald Trump, though?
We love him.
He is the greatest thing to ever happen to this nation.
Yeah, and you guys have been worshiping him as well?
Have you seen
Oh,
The
yes.
Apprentice? It is very good television.
You guys watch that?
Oh yes, you're being fired.
See, in India, I imagine you're
You're fired.
Are you guys watching it on like some old discarded like portable DVD player? You know?
It is a cassette tape.
Oh, it's a cassette. That's how you watch it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty ingenious.
We have a couple episodes on a thumb drive.
Okay,
That
But
we
it-
put into our cassette player.
but it's made out of like a monkey thumb, probably, right? Is that what it what it
Oh
is?
yes.
Okay.
What else would we mean by thumb drive?
I don't know. I'm not that familiar with the modern technology myself.
Donald Trump is a true visionary in progress and ambition.
Right.
He has a
Remember
very big
Omarosa?
brain.
Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by, you guys. That was nice. Andrea and David Box are coming back into the room. There we go.
I don't know why you always make us switch with those people.
Because they're
Smells like body odor over here.
does it?
Well, it's either cumin or body odor. It's hard to tell the difference.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I've missed them. You know, they're It's good to have like culture on the show. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like because there's a lot of
because
people out
we
there.
don't know any other people who aren't white.
There's a lot of people out there that are just sheltered and they're not as kind of open and educated as we clearly are.
We
You know.
shall over.
This isn't a very diverse group of people, is it?
We will. Fucking idiot.
We won't.
There's like 8 words in that entire song, and she fucked it up. Oh wait, speaking of Indians, you know what we never talked about? When everyone all of a sudden got mad about a poo. on The Simpsons.
Poor Apu. What are they
Yeah.
gonna do with him?
I don't know why did that it was some like blogger brought it up, like an Indian guy originally, right?
Well,
And he was
Yeah.
like,
His point was like how in culture we have these stereotypes, but I think to zero in on The Simpsons and be like, this guy's a stereotype. Every character on the show is a stereotype.
Right,
Yeah, and
yeah.
also all of the characters, especially someone as recurrent as Apu, has a fairly well-rounded
He's
character.
been positive
He has
as
a-
hell, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also, are we supposed to pretend that that is not a small town cliche that you see everywhere? Is
Right.
the Indian guy that has the fucking 7-Eleven or
7-Eleven,
whatever?
yeah.
You know, I mean, that's a thing you see. Like, why do we have to pretend that's not part of life? Why?
Well, and
why do you have to be afraid of it? Like the Indian guy, what are they supposed to not have an Indian accent for the Indian guy? Like,
Are
what
we
the fuck?
also supposed to completely ignore the episode that they had where he tried to Americanize himself, and then the message was "Be true to who you are
Yeah.
and be true
Yeah.
to
Who
your
needs
roots."
Yeah.
He's like, who needs the endless compassion of Ganesha?
Yeah, he was like,
When I've got Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman staring at me with their dead eyes.
Hello, cowboys.
What was I thinking with that?
he was ashamed and he was hiding his like octopus elephant or whatever that
Yeah.
thing is.
Yeah.
And,
It's Ganesh.
yeah. He was hiding it, and then he finally had to bring it back out, and yeah, he learned to be himself. It was empowering.
Yeah.
It was great.
There's
But
also
now
one
people
where
want
he's
to be mad about it.
There's also the episode where he's a total ladies' man, and every woman in town realizes he's the best game in town, basically. So it's a positive. It's not like they're painting him in a
Yeah.
bad light, you know?
I
Yeah.
think somebody who just wanted to be a more famous writer probably saw, oh, the time
Kind
is
of.
right,
Right,
and The
yeah.
Simpsons is just big enough for me to destroy.
Yeah.
Well,
to
and I
propel myself
read
to stardom.
that main thing that kind of started this snowball against Apu, at least in recent history. I read that blogger's whole thing, and his main point was when I was younger and people used to make fun of me, they would call me Apu, and I think that means that it reflects my culture in a poor light.
Oh Jesus! You know,
Kids are mean.
What did kids call
Exactly.
you when they made fun of you?
me.
Yeah.
I didn't get made fun of. Are you crazy?
Never? Really?
I was dishing it out. No, I don't actually. You know, I don't really remember. Maybe that just said I was poor or something. You know,
Yeah, there
that
you
was
go.
that was probably it.
My name was Gear the Queer.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's hurtful, I guess.
How did you know what we've been calling you?
Right. Oh, I thought that stopped.
Yeah, Apu, when I pulled this clip up before, just to show you how great he is. Like, this is how they represent him, as an intelligent character. Remember from the episode we were talking about, they ask him about the Civil War. Where is this? Oops, sorry.
All right, here's your last question.
Sorry about that
What
noise.
was the cause of the Civil War?
Actually, there were numerous causes. Aside from the obvious schism between abolitionists and anti-abolitionists, economic factors, both domestic and international, played a significant... Yeah.
Just say slavery.
Slavery it is, sir.
Yes, I am a...
You know,
But his accent.
Right.
yeah, is that really...
He's
that's
so offensive.
So yeah, I don't know. I just was so confused about that, because, like, that's a real... Those guys are all over the place, and
Yeah.
they have that accent. And
Yeah.
they're,
Honestly,
you know,
I wish the guy in the 7-Eleven who's Indian, who runs it now in Willow Springs there.
Had half his personality.
No, I wish
like-
he had the understanding of English that Apu has. Because I'm
Right.
like, can you make me some coconut-flavored coffee? And he's like, coconut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, it's cool. Like, I'm not one of those, like, speak American, but I'm like...
I did that one time.
If I'm asking,
I
like,
remember.
if you're in a job where, you know, like, you got to interact with people, you should kind of have an understand. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it is annoying. Like,
I just want my coconut coffee, goddammit.
Yeah, try
Yeah.
explaining to them that you want a pouch of Bugler tobacco, and they're
Yeah,
they're
you
just
told
like,
me that story.
oh no, that's what the time that I freaked out and had like my super fucking American moment.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Did I ever? I don't think I ever told this on
Your
the show.
need
Did
for
I?
nicotine.
Oh, I did?
you know.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, yeah, I just started screaming at this guy because he just kept saying no. I'm like, no, what? It's right there, dude.
Yeah,
Just turn
just-
around and get it. Oh, and then I started getting like angry, and he started getting nervous. Oh, it was a bad scene.
Yeah.
No, not being able to get cigarettes. Like I can remember when I was a kid, I can remember telling people like at the, you know, when you're 16, they won't sell them to you. I remember just being like, God, go to hell. I hope you burn in hell.
Right,
Like-
yeah.
Like I want cigarettes so bad. Fuck you.
So I like how the Simpsons kind of did. They never really came out and said much about it, other than
No, they did a very weak episode that I did not see, but I heard that they did a very like limp-wristed address to it.
Oh, did they?
Where Lisa like sums it up at the end for us, I guess. I don't know. I haven't watched that show in years because it's gotten so bad.
Yeah.
I used to love The Simpsons up till about season 10.
Who didn't?
Yeah, but then it's
a national treasure.
Right, up until about season 10. Then it crashes.
Yeah, and like the other, look at Chief Wiggum. Like that's a hilarious
he's Art
stereotype.
Carney.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, and part of the issue that people take with Apu, too, is that he's voiced by a white guy pretending to be an Indian guy.
So would it be better
because
if...
Can you imagine the
cartoon characters always represent the cartoon that they're in.
Can you imagine the gall of, say, for instance, a couple of white people doing Indian accents at length just for the purposes of lampooning someone else's culture?
That'd be so
I will
insensitive.
point out, I will remind our listeners that the more often we do the Indian voices, our ratings skyrocket in India. That's a true thing.
Somebody likes it in India.
We should just do the whole show that way.
Right.
One day.
One day. That's all we'll have left.
That's all we'll have left.
Yeah, we'll just be, like just frying on acid, just doing that for 4.5 hours. That'd be the only thing left in life.
Could do that.
So in April, Hank Azaria, who plays Apu, offered to let them replace him with somebody.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he can be an
They
annoying,
said-
PC sort of guy
no,
sometimes.
They basically
He's a
said,
good
no,
guy.
that's not necessary. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, dude. It's
Apu's
awesome.
beloved. I don't care.
Yeah, just ride it out.
And not to mention, like, what kind of, again, what kind of weird darkness is inside a person when they see a character that's clearly beloved and clearly represented in a positive light and go like, I need to be mad at that.
Right,
And another parallel to like real life is like a lot of times the local shop owner, maybe they're Pakistani, maybe they're from one of those weird in-betweeny Eastern European to Middle Eastern-y countries.
There's another episode where he
maybe
visits one in another town and it is like an Arab guy instead.
Right, yeah. Maybe it's an Indian, maybe it's whatever, but a lot of times these are beloved characters in real life in their towns, Remember the Hey Buddy guy,
Yeah, hey buddies.
Yeah, Hey Buddy. And as everybody said,
Infamous.
and that was his name. His name was Hey Buddy. The store was called Hey Buddy. That's all he ever said was Hey Buddy.
That place was great.
But everybody loved him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's so weird to me to find some kind of negativity in it. Like, isn't this what you're supposed to like about America? Is this great melting pot of
Right,
blah blah
and
blah?
also, Apu has been going on for 30 years. Why are we mad now?
Well, it's just to get attention.
Right.
You asking the question and being like, oh my god, why are they fucking with this? It's the thing that puts the spotlight on the guy who wrote the thing, and now,
is it fair that people hold The Simpsons to a different standard for cartoons than other cartoons? Because I recall on the Powerpuff Girls there being a villain who was basically Satan. Transvestite Satan is basically who this villain was. He was called him, and he spoke in like a wispy high voice.
He sounds cool.
And he wore like a mini skirt and thigh-high boots.
Can we see this?
Yeah.
So why are we more offended by Apu than him?
because he's less known than
Yeah,
Apu.
I've never heard of that. That
No.
sounds cool.
Not I mean I know him. Look, there he is.
Yeah,
guy?
but do you know
Yeah.
him as well as you know Apu? Would writing an article about this guy get as much attention?
I never watched the Powerpuff Girls.
Well, Powerpuff Girls isn't
Yeah.
still on the air, so no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Girls, we need you. Powerpuff Girls, we love you.
I do not
Okay.
remember this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this cartoon.
You know what? Now that I think about it, that might be Tom Kenny doing that voice.
It sounded
And no
kinda
one's
like him.
roasting Tom Kenny for portraying a transvestite Satan.
You know what though?
It's in a positive light,
because
though.
but also
He's a villain.
back then the only people that like got riled up about shit like that would be like like Tammy Faye Baker and like these weird evangelical people and shit.
Catholic moms across America.
Now it's weird. There's so many more of those vocal like Christians that. What was that? Did you guys hear that?
That was a bottle
sorry.
of ice.
That sounded so like weirdly
Yeah, it
loud.
did. Sorry. I'm
No,
really
it's cool. It just
sorry.
resonated through the mic stands. But so it used to be just all these like wacko like evangelical fucking psychos that used to get. Now like I think if you put something like this on TV now, it would be all over Facebook. Like, they're indoctrinating the kids and, like, they can't, you know.
See, I'm not sure about that because I think modern day cartoons are just as weird. You ever watch Adventure Time?
No.
I mean, there's like, that's on the air currently. That's technically a children's show. It's not part of Adult Swim or anything. But it is, sometimes I see something on there and I'm like, I can't believe people are fucking letting their kids look at this.
I will remind you, back in the 80s, there was a big scare about playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
If you play if your kids are playing Dungeons and Dragons, they're probably in a cult and they're gonna kill you in your sleep and eat babies.
The 80s was like
Yeah.
the hysteria about cults and people literally thought there was like satanic sacrifices going on.
There
all
were like
over.
pamphlets
In
that were
Dungeons
like
and Dragons?
Dungeons and Dragons, black T-shirts. You know,
Yeah.
if your kid's
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
a black T-shirt, he's probably disturbed.
He's probably sticking his dragon in some other kid's dungeon.
So yeah, I've read like books and seen documentaries and whatever about like that are from the 80s. I think we've got a couple actually that I've kind of leafed through, and they make these cases of like, yes, satanic worship is taking over the country and blah blah blah, and they'll just take some like loser kids, like those kids that thought they were vampires or some shit and killed the girl's parents in Florida. They'll take like some shit like that and be like, see, Satan. It's like, no, those are just fucking idiots. Like
Yeah,
they're
different.
Not, yeah, dude.
Because nobody's ever done anything like that in the name of religion.
But yeah, that's another thing that petered out. What is with the fear? Did we just run on fear? I know we always talk about it, but like, how
It's a
many
great
things?
motivator.
How many things since the '80s have been like national hysteria that you don't even think about even remotely anymore? How about Muslim terrorism? Isn't that what happened to that? You know?
What
still a
bathroom
thing.
am I supposed to go to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm glad that's not an issue anymore.
Yeah.
we fixed that.
The great
Horrified.
I
people
was so
were
concerned.
people were practically fighting in the streets about that. Like, and I've never once in real life ever seen some big issue about somebody having to use the bathroom. Like, dude, chill out. What
Probably
the
never happened.
fuck? Ebola we've had.
Oh, don't touch
Yeah.
your friends.
Yeah.
Don't catch it.
Russians are back. Russians are back in a weird way.
Yeah, so it's China.
Now?
A few years
Little
ago,
bit,
I
yeah.
would have said, hey, remember the Red Menace?
Yeah.
But now it's back, isn't it?
Are they still the Red Menace, though?
But is
or-
it?
Like, yeah, I'm like,
aren't
it's,
they?
it's like not communism
Menace.
exactly, though. So
They've
like,
had a big PR makeover for sure.
yeah. So like, I don't know.
It all started when Putin flew those geese home for the winter.
That was badass. I'll give him credit for that forever. Yeah, no, but I that is weird to me. I never saw like McCarthyism and shit like that coming back, and like the whole country fighting about communism again. It's like, why we just go in these cycles, you know? And what it'll be in a few years, I don't know.
We'll be
Did
worried
we?
about
Yeah,
Dungeons
wait a
and
minute.
Dragons again.
Did we defeat ISIS? Are they gone?
No, we
No.
co-opted
No, we
them.
didn't. Trump did.
Yeah,
I mean, I just, are they still over there? Did we give up?
you know,
I don't know what's going on with that.
I think we're working with them now. I'm not kidding.
I still see a lot of like ISIS beheadings popping up and stuff like
okay.
that.
Yeah,
they're
I'm not
still out
hearing that
there.
stuff.
Recently.
They're certainly not mainstream news
They make
nowadays.
Right.
After that Syrian chemical attack, I think that was the last time they even like poked their head up at all.
Oh, really? That was a long time ago.
I think
Yeah.
they'll still behead an infidel here and there, you know, or a journalist or something.
Well, they gotta
you know.
live, right? I mean,
Right, they gotta make a living somehow.
You only have room for so much hate, and people are so busy hating what's
Right.
going on
Gays.
domestically that they're
Right.
they're not they just don't have the energy
We've
to hate
redirected.
ISIS.
That is interesting. We have like completely turned inward as all the different factions of this country have just turned on each other.
Yeah.
I was talking about that with the Truth Movement a few years ago, how it just started becoming this faction thing of like people, oh, Trump is the savior. Like, no, fuck that. Don't you guys actually remember that we were sort of thinking maybe we don't even need a president? Like,
Right.
You know, doesn't nobody remember that?
Yeah.
Nobody remembers the two-party paradigm and whatever. Nobody. That's all out the window.
The
Okay.
two-party paradigm, and the news is government propaganda, no matter where you hear it from.
Exactly.
And now it's like, oh God,
Everybody forgot about that.
CNN
Yeah.
said so. The Washington Post said so.
But yeah, we have completely, I guess, just turned
Everything
inwards
is
on
so
ourselves. It must be fucking,
hysterical.
dude. It must be hilarious to watch this country from somewhere far away. You know,
Everyone's just
like from
making fun
Russia,
of us.
maybe.
like maybe, yeah, dude. They probably are laughing hysterically at us, like
Somebody
These
is.
fucking idiots.
goofy ass society that we have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Are we a bigger joke than North Korea?
Yes.
I wonder
think
that
so?
sometimes we have a higher incarceration rate, right?
Percentage-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's hard to say. I mean,
They're
who
kind
knows
of
what
all
kind of
Probably
numbers
better
we
at
really
reporting
know.
it than the North
Yeah.
Koreans. are.
Yeah, who knows, I guess. But we have a higher incarceration rate than China.
Yeah.
I know that. Or Russia.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I wonder what do, you see comments, but you see comments that say everything. I don't know. Does
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Does the
read
rest of the world
comments.
really look at this as like a prison of sorts, do you think? And just like we look at North Korea, like when I picture it in my mind, I picture like a fortress.
Yeah,
It's like-
I just
the
see a
whole
concentration
country.
camp.
Yeah,
It's just
basically.
barbed wire and mud and like body parts.
do people picture us that way?
I don't know.
Well, my
No,
foreign
we're
friends.
everybody in America is fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And loud.
We're carrying
Yeah.
around big gulps and,
Yeah.
and spitting on black people.
And hating our own president and hating gay people
Yeah.
and
I have some friends from France, and they're
Oh, we're packed with guns. Sorry.
right.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, everyone has a gun. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, my gun, it's right here.
Yeah.
Fucking, my friends who are from other places, the biggest thing that they bring up is our lack of public restrooms.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay,
like
see?
in France,
I can handle that.
In,
That's
in
okay.
France,
Yeah.
there's like cool, like little like piss stop things that are just like out in the open. Like it's like an S-shaped thing where two people can. You go in there, and it's like a urinal. Ladies, I don't know what you do, but
We hold it, Matt.
yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
like, if you're out in France
Weird.
and you're drinking wine all day, there should be a place for you to piss. And then when they come here to America and go to bars, they're like, what the fuck? I can't piss anywhere.
To piss and smoke.
Yeah,
In a-
exactly, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't smoke indoors.
In a
What
black
the
and
fuck? I
white
can't
striped
smoke.
shirt.
In a beret, just talking about how shitty Americans are while you piss your fucking ankles up in a little
What? Sorry, what?
piss all over your fucking ankles, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
And someone just cleans it up.
yeah. I want to live in France. Yeah.
Do you?
I don't know. I mean,
I hear
Why
South
not?
Koreans
Why not?
complaining about internet speed. I guess people in South Korea have a public internet connection, and it's way faster and more reliable than what you would even pay for here
Really?
in South
Yeah.
Korea.
in South Korea. Yeah.
We know that the internet available to us isn't what's actually available, though.
South Korea has a lot of nice technology though and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right there by Japan. Japan
Yeah.
is leading everything.
Right. That's what I mean.
like 15 years ahead of us.
And I hear in the UK
They have
got
teleportation.
they've got like a tap. They use tap to pay in the UK way more than we do here, so people are just like.
Didn't we do something where somebody like supposedly teleported a tiny particle or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Chinese, I think, now have the record for
Can't call them
moving a particle from
Dude,
Earth
Dave.
to a
Whoa,
satellite
bro,
in space.
not cool.
A
Remember?
particle? Like,
yeah.
They
Like-
teleported a particle to a satellite.
They
in outer
what they did
space.
was they quantum entangled two particles and then affected one from a distance of like hundreds of thousands of miles.
I
It
don't,
almost
like, how
am-
small is that? Is like my. I'm like that's.
It's like one. It's like one
minuscule.
atom. Yeah.
I'm like so.
But what we know about quantum entanglement, it's almost as if they like just thought it out there.
Right.
There's,
Like,
there's something
it's
about a
like-
cat. I don't know.
It's really complicated.
Look it up.
you got to ask
Yeah.
the cat about it.
I remember
It gets very mathy.
it was very mind blowing.
yeah.
Yeah, we're just saying words that we've heard a lot. We
Yeah.
like we don't really have
Quantum entanglement.
yeah, we don't have like a thorough understanding
Relative
of such
density.
matters. David Box might.
No, I don't.
Brainiac. That was an insult.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking smart.
Fucking stupid smarty.
Yeah. It was when you're a kid, like,
Smart
oh, look
idiot.
who's fucking knows stuff. Ugh.
Yeah.
Just be stupid like us.
Yeah. What do you think? You're better than us?
You don't want to play King of the Mountain, you fucking dork. So, anyways, as the nation that we know and love, called the U.S. of A., here on our most sacred and treasured of holidays, disintegrates before our very eyes.
All empires crumble.
It's true, and I've been waiting for this. I, as a young teenager, used to proclaim haughtily that the many parallels between our very own shores and Great Plains and mountain ranges that we call home here, the parallels to ancient Rome and the hubris. Pride goeth before a fall, my mother would say. And I'd say, you know what, mother? Why don't you tell the goddamn US of A, okay?
Haughty.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
Exactly. Let's embrace it. We're going down with the ship here. Happy 4th of July, everybody. I'm pretty sure we're all gonna fucking die.
Woo!
Yep. Good night. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Oh, check out Matt Gear Art on Facebook.
Yeah, do that.
What do you guys got? Anything?
No, I'm boring.
Robot Hilarious. Go listen to my stuff on YouTube. All right, bye.
Oh, you should.